Hi there, Dr. Vicki Lemfer here with the Shift Happens channel. Today, we're going to talk about detachment and really releasing the suffering of really desiring or maybe even over desiring your desire, right? We suffer an awful lot and we don't want to let go of control because that's what we think we're going to do is we're going to lose it. We're going to not manifest our desire because, oh my gosh, if I let it go, it's going to go. Okay, we're gonna dig deep. We're gonna go super deep on this. So let's be open and ready for this. As always, if you want some coaching, you can contact me at shifthappenslifecoaching at gmail.com. Get going because it is filling up. So I've got some great clients. We're really working through a lot of stuff. And really, we do focus a lot on that detachment because I think it's really key. And so I can't wait to get into it today. As always, like, share, comment, and subscribe. That's how we build our community here. I learn from you just as much as you learn from me. Listen, I've been on this manifesting journey and I've been doing law of attraction, law of assumption. I've gone through so many different levels of enlightenment. And so I want to share what I've learned and continue to learn because that is a lifelong journey, right? That's what we do. So let's get into it. Detachment. Listen, you don't even know that you're suffering because you're so used to feeling a little anxious and a little, oh my gosh, you go through moments of, I've let it go, I'm totally in the moment, and that feels great. And then something pops up, usually in the 3D. And then all of a sudden, that little voice says, see, there it is, you're not getting it, you're not getting it. And you're like, whoa, now I gotta clench and really just dig in and control and, analyze it and piece it apart and ask other people for help and what do you think of this and really all your answers are always within because everybody that you go to you kind of know what they're going to say, so you're like, if I ask this person what's their take going to be on it, and then what if they tell you what you want to hear or don't want to hear? Now all of a sudden you're giving your power to somebody else to interpret your feelings and your 3D. We say this all the time in our community. You are not, the 3D is in the past, right? You are more than your 3D. In fact, you're more than your thoughts and your words and your emotions. At the core of who you are is truly source. You are godlike, right? So many times we wanna be able to control it, and I've been there. Listen, especially like with money, SPs, and specific person could be your romantic partner, somebody, a colleague, a friend, family member, whoever, right? And especially when you're trying to manifest your SP, that kind of brings in some weird feelings because we oftentimes in our community, we think we're manipulating and, you start going into God's will, your will, their will, where does this all work, right? And that's for another video. I've got some more videos on that. But right now, I want to help you to end your suffering. And sometimes, I know I didn't even know that I was suffering. I thought it was just the way we were supposed to manifest, like obsessively think about this, and this is how we're going to get whatever we want, whatever the subject is, right? And I know a lot of you really want your SP, and I get all of that. And so, same subject, whether it's money, love, or health. That it's all the same process, right? Which will really help you in just a bit because I'm going to refer back to that towards the end, and I'm going to give you a really cool, simple method, something to think about in order to help you to detach, okay? So what we're trying to detach from is the actual having this, right? The desire, not the desire, but the having it. What does that really mean? Well, it's fulfillment, right? We think we're going to feel better by having it. We're going to feel better once we get the money in the bank. I'm going to feel better once I get this person to really like me. I'm going to feel better once, maybe I get rid of somebody, whatever the case is, fill in the blank. I'm going to feel better when, and that's usually where our desire to manifest something comes from. Now, let's go back to desire. Desire desires you. It is a God thing. It's been manifesting in you before you even really acknowledged it and was aware of it. And it's like all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I guess now I want this money. Well, it's been in you and it comes from source, okay? So don't question the desire. The desire is legit, so to speak, right? But what is fulfillment? I know this is kind of where we get bummed out, because you're finding all these coaches. You're like, just affirm, and that works a little bit, but we're going to go a little bit deeper than that. Fulfillment is truly everything that you give yourself. And of course, the 3D reflects what you're feeling or saying. So if you're feeling jealousy, all of a sudden you've got to give that comfort to yourself first. Like, what is it about that I'm feeling over here that I need to give myself? Maybe I need to give myself a little more attention, soothe myself a little bit more. And sometimes this is what I do. You could do a great little meditation where you sit and you just, even if it's tough for you, always have that calm state. And you get into that calm state by just being aware. And I just repeat to myself, what am I aware of? What am I aware of? What am I aware of? And then all of a sudden you start, I'm aware of sensations. Where's the sensations? In your body, how do your legs feel? How does it feel to breathe? What do I hear? Right now I hear my dishwasher. Sorry. And then you just kind of get in that kind of slow thought process. And then all of a sudden you go, okay, who am I? Who am I? And then who am I that's aware of the awareness, right? You just go deeper and deeper and deeper onto those levels of awareness. Well, who am I? Who is aware of my awareness, right? And it eventually goes back to your higher God self, right? And then you realize that you're infinite. And we realize that that is truly who we are. Like, we are infinite beings having a temporary moment here on earth, right? Because it's infinite, all right? It's an ongoing divine experience if you allow it, right? So fulfillment really does come from within. Okay, so let's think about something that you can manifest with ease. What is something that you can get without even trying, all right? And sometimes it's, sorry, that's my phone. It's, okay, maybe friends. Friends are really easy for me to make, because it's like you just go in and you don't care what you look like, sound like, you don't even think about how you're gonna act around these people. And they just automatically are attracted to you. Then all of a sudden, you like someone, you're attracted to them, and all of a sudden you want that specific person. And then all of a sudden you're getting ready to go out with this group of people, and that person's gonna be there, and you're like, well, what am I gonna say? What am I gonna wear? What am I gonna look like? How I'm gonna, be cool but not too cool, be loud but not too loud. Hey, don't be the center of attention, but don't be a wallflower. And you're like, trying to be that perfect person for that person. You never attract people that way. You never do. You attract them by being yourself. And that's why when you catch yourself, I need to do this and do that, you are not being authentic. Your authentic, magical self is such a magnet, because think about when you're with your friends, you don't care. You can fart and do whatever, and people are gonna be like, dude, and you just laugh. But you don't want to, well, of course, maybe you don't want to fart in front of the person that you're just getting to know. Give that a little time, right? But you get my point. Like, you need to just kind of be yourself, but that's where that fulfillment comes. I feel fulfilled, right? And so I'm feeling full of myself, of love. And I feel confident and loving towards myself, because I'm giving myself grace to make mistakes, to look a fool, to be goofy, and to be, just yourself. And here's another great strategy I use, is the mirror one. When you first wake up in the morning, go into that mirror and say, I love you. And say your name. And the more you do it, because at first I was always like, love you, babe, kind of joking about it. But then you just really stare and look at yourself and go, I love you. I love you, Vicky, right? And just hold that stare. Practice that every morning, all right? Now, what does that have to do with fulfillment? It is all about your self-concept and that self-love. You have to feel worthy of having that desire. You have to detach from that feeling of needing that thing to make you feel better, right? You have to be able to look at yourself, because remember, Neville Goddard, one of his best quotes, I think, is worship the creator, don't worship the creation. Meaning, worship that God self, that beautiful self that you are. That's why we always talk about going back to that self-concept. But I really, self-concept is really that self-love and really digging who you are. And like, are you okay with even being home by yourself and allowing yourself to be like, yeah, I don't need any validation. I don't need to call somebody up and go, hey, this is what happened. What do you think? I got all the answers inside of me. I'm good. I'm cool, man. And when you have that sense of self, 3D doesn't bother you. You're like, I got this. I am walking in fulfillment now, right? I don't need anything. And that's where we get a little messed up, where it's like, dude, I do need this. Well, it's nice, and you can have it. And that's what's the irony is that once you let go and you're just totally in yourself, and you're totally having fun, and you're like choosing things that feel good for you, guess who comes up? The SP. I'm telling you, they come and they're magnets. And it's not just the SP, it's like everybody comes out of the woodwork. They're like, and I'm like, whoa, slow down, man. I can't hang out with everybody, right? Now I feel like I'm all popular and stuff. In my mind, right? So it is just that true fulfillment and humor. And that's how I get through a lot of things. Is you gotta have fun with this, right? But the fulfillment is truly feeling good about yourself in every moment, and be graceful with yourself when it doesn't happen. So here's what I want you to do. Acceptance is absolute key for detachment. Acceptance of the 3D. I see you, I accept it, but I'm gonna choose a different reality, because again, it's infinite possibilities in every moment. That's just showing up in one way. I'm gonna choose a different story and choose to feel good. And it's gonna always support me in my loving self and knowing that I'm okay whatever way this turns, because nothing's permanent in the 3D. Everything's always changing. What doesn't change is you and your God self. God does not change. So your whole self needs to be inherently loving that God self of you, that God that's within you, right? It's that's when you're powerful and you change your reality, because we over-identify with the 3D. We think, oh my gosh, that person didn't talk to me, so therefore there's something wrong with me. And you over-identify and overstory. I make up words too. Create stories that aren't even there. I mean, we are great fiction writers. If you just tap into that, dude, we can make all kinds of stories come up. But you just need to let that go and just be like, nah, I don't think that's a really good story that feels good, right? So we over-identify and think that's who we are. No, we're not. Pure energy, pure love, pure essence of the God self comes through you. That's our attachment. The God comes through you as you, right? So you accept your feelings, accept the 3D reality or 3D situations, accept people as they are, accept you as you are, right? Whew, that is a real powerful thing. So when you're feeling a little, always go back to, who are you? Who am I? Meditate and just go, who am I? Who am I? And just repeat those words. See what comes up. Don't try and like conjure up, oh, I know I need to look and sound like this. No, just feel it and see what comes up. And just keep doing it for like a few weeks, 21 days. All right. I know you guys always want how often, how many of them, 21 days. Just sit quiet and sit and say, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? who am I? You know, and see what comes up and journal it. Let me know how it is. Comment. Let me know how things are going. All right? I learn from you just as much as you learn from me. As always, if you want some life coaching, I am there for you. We have so much fun trying to get through all this. It's not as hard as it seems. That's why coaching is so important, because I'm able to look at things objectively and kind of guide you on that process. Go ahead and contact me at shifthappenslifecoaching at gmail.com. Like, subscribe, comment. Let's get this community going. All right, till next time. Love ya. Bye-bye.